What's up guys, I am BlackOpsAmazing. Welcome back to another zombies video on the channel where today we are looking at the story of Cerberus, the three-headed dog in Mob of the Dead. A very requested video, just like most of them. I always make whatever videos that you guys want me to do. So if there's any other story of videos, any characters that you want me to cover, leave them in the comment section below. But as always, if you enjoy, a like rating would be very much appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest zombies videos, and also click that little bell notification icon just next to the subscribe button, because subscriptions don't always work. But anyway, without further ado, when you're ready, sit back, relax, enjoy. So a lot of people have been asking me, what exactly is the purpose? What even is this dog that we see on the walls in Mob of the Dead? Around the map there are 3 different locations for 3 different dog heads that you can get on the wall. And whenever you kill a zombie in front of it, it will then appear, eat that zombie, and when the dogs have ate enough zombies, eventually they will disappear back into the wall. And you have to feed all 3 dog heads in order to collect a reward. This reward, as we know, is the Hell's Retriever. But what exactly is this dog? Well, if we take a look at the story of Mob of the Dead, we might get a better idea. Well, as we know, the map Mob of the Dead itself is set in an alternate satanic iteration of Alcatraz prison. Our 4 characters, Sal, Billy, Finn and Al, were imprisoned on Alcatraz Island after all committing crime, where Billy Hansen was convicted on 116 counts of murders, Michael Finn O'Leary was convicted on 16 counts of gambling fraud, Albert the Weasel Arlington took part in a Los Angeles heist, and Sal was convicted for being the mastermind behind all of this. He built this empire. As we know, all 4 friends were caught and for their crimes imprisoned on Alcatraz. But not long after being locked up on the island, Al came up with a plan. He devised a plan to escape the island on a makeshift aircraft of his own design, where he somehow convinced Sal, Billy and Finn to participate in the escape plan. But as we know, soon enough, the effort between them descended into quarrels and fighting, and after numerous complications, the 3 mobsters became hostile towards Arlington. They realised after escaping their cells on New Year's Eve they had nowhere to go, they had no plan after this, and so, not knowing what to do, still angry at Arlington for the failure of the plan, Sal, Billy and Finn constructed makeshift weapons, lured Arlington to the roof of the prison, where they attacked him and left him to bleed to death on the night of December 31st, 1933. And then, as we know, not long after the murder of Arlington, the 3 mobsters were caught, and for killing him, they were sentenced to death by electric chair, and they were executed on the morning of January the 19th, 1934. So all 4 mobsters eventually died. Arlington was killed, and the other 3 were sentenced to death by electric chair. However, after their death, the group was sent back in time to the night of December 31st, 1933, this time in an alternate satanic iteration of Alcatraz prison, inhabited by zombies and a guard who was Stanley Ferguson, who in this cycle was Brutus. The characters were trapped in an endless cycle, in an alternate hell iteration of the prison. Everything in this iteration resembled hell. The numbers 666 referring to the devil, Stanley Ferguson, the night guard, had become Brutus. The 4 mobsters were trapped in an endless cycle, whereas we know one of the creatures we face in this satanic iteration of Alcatraz is the dogs on the wall. In this version of Alcatraz, you can find 3 dog markings on the wall. One in the infirmary, one in the docks, and one on the Broadway. And as our characters find out, when you kill a zombie in front of one of these markings, a dog will appear on the wall. This dog is supposed to resemble Cerberus, the Hound of Hades. In Greek mythology, Cerberus is a 3-headed dog that guards the gates of the underworld to prevent the dead from leaving. Cerberus is the offspring of the monsters Echidna and Typhon, and is usually described as having 3 heads, a serpent tail, and snakes protruding from parts of his body. I mean, if you've ever seen Hercules, the Disney film, you could see Cerberus in there. Freaking awesome film that was. Although he doesn't always have 3 heads. Sometimes he has multiple. So, as we see, the 3-headed dog in Mob of the Dead is based off Cerberus. Cerberus is the dog of Hades, and Hades is the god, the leader of the underworld. The underworld is basically basically another world where souls go after death. In Greek mythology, it is the idea of afterlife. And as we know in Mob of the Dead, that is exactly what happens to our characters. After all being killed, we are sent to the afterlife, we are stuck in purgatory, and whenever we die, we come back as souls, as ghost-like figures of our normal selves, and have to basically revive ourselves. We are stuck in the afterlife. Which could also explain why the eye colour of the zombies in Mob of the Dead was red, because in the afterlife they have no one controlling them, they have no leader. In the underworld, this is where the dead, trapped souls go, and so these zombies in afterlife are just people on the prison who have died, these bad people, and have been sent to the underworld. In Greek mythology, at the moment of death, the soul is separated from the corpse, taking on the shape of the former person, and is then transported to the entrance of the underworld. The underworld itself is described as being either at the outer bounds of the ocean, or beneath the depths, or ends of the earth, where it's commonly known as Kingdom of the Dead. Hades is a realm invisible to the living, made solely for the dead. So that kind of gives you a good explanation about what Mob of the Dead in the afterlife is all about. Cerberus, or is actually also known as the Hellhound, is the massive dog of Hades, who is the god of the underworld. And the duty of Cerberus is just to prevent people from leaving, to guard the gates and stop people from leaving the underworld. And that's exactly what this dog in Mob of the Dead is there to do, to stop our characters from escaping the rock. As we know in Mob of the Dead, we tame this dog by feeding it zombies. We feed it zombies, it goes, and this then allows us to collect the Hell's Retriever and allows us to carry on with our attempt to escape Alcatraz. A few little cool things about this dog is actually we have to feed it 6 zombies. There are 3 of these dogs around the map, meaning we're feeding them 6, 6, 6 zombies, which is also a reference to the devil. And also in Greek mythology, the 3 heads of Cerberus represent past, present and future. The head at the docks represents the past, where the prisoners came in. The head between the cells represents the present, where the prisoners go to jail. And the head near the roof represents the future, the escape plan. It's actually really interesting, and the whole afterlife in Mob of the Dead has never really been fully explained to us. In the Canorium, all it says is that Sal, Finn, Billy and Al find themselves trapped in a seemingly endless cycle, but it mentions nothing after that about the afterlife or what even any of that means. This has been a really interesting video to make, and hopefully this has answered some of your questions. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed, a like rating would be very much appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Let me know who you want to see next in the comment section below. If we could reach, I'm going to say 5,000 like ratings on this video. It's a big one. I don't know if we could do it, but it'd be awesome if we could. I believe in you guys. I love you guys. Also, thank you. I don't know if we've hit it just yet when this video goes up, but 350,000 subscribers is amazing. It really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much for that. And of course, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.